Look at him, sleeping like an angel, as if 5 minutes ago he wasn't climbing all the boxes and knocking everything over and making a huge mess and getting stuck and screaming. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and this is going to be my very last video of 2021. I always get very nostalgic and very emotional this time of year. Not only is it, you know, the holiday season and New Year's and thinking about all that. My birthday is also December 29th, so right around the time, you know, we're getting ready for like a new year. I'm also getting ready for a new age, so I'll be turning 28 in just a few weeks here. It always makes me emotional, it always makes me think, and I thought that it might be kind of a fun thing to do to share with you as my last video of the year, 21 things that I learned in 2021. That's enough talking, let's just get into it. So these are in no particular order, just as they roll off the top of my head. Number one is I learned this year how to be more present with myself. I am the queen of as soon as-ing myself to death. As soon as I lose 10 pounds, I'll be happier. As soon as Monday comes around, I'll start drinking more water. As soon as. And as soon as has been doing me no good for the last 27 years. So I've spent a lot of time this year really trying to check myself whenever I do that. Stop waiting for whatever I'm waiting for to come and just do whatever it is I'm wanting to do or feel the way I want to feel now. You know, there's no point in being miserable right now, because as soon as, you know, I lose the weight, it'll all be different. I kept telling myself, as soon as I lose my double chin, I'll start my YouTube channel. As soon as I lose my double chin, I'll start my YouTube channel, and then I'll be happy. Well, I didn't lose my double chin in 2020, and I didn't start my YouTube channel. 2021 rolled around and I finally decided, you know what, screw it. Screw it if I have a double chin, who cares? I want to start a YouTube channel. That's what I'm gonna do. That was the catalyst, and I've really been trying to do that in all aspects of my life. Number two, I have learned a lot of patience this year. A lot of patience, I really have. Particularly patience like with my husband, like patience as a wife. This has been a huge year for my husband. A lot of things changing, a lot of things that he really needed to just focus on, a lot of things that he couldn't help me with. He finished his MBA, he got a new job. I think I learned how to be very patient, how to be a good wife, not even necessarily, just be a good partner. I would hope that he would agree with me on that. John, if you're watching this, I mean, let me know. The third thing I learned this year was I found an exercise that I loved, and I no longer dread exercise. I bought my Peloton bike. I'm not gonna belabor this point. If you're here, you already know I love my Peloton. First thing I would grab at a fire. That just changed my entire life. Number four, I've learned to plan my time better and make better use of my time. And a lot of that has come from leaving my job and doing the work that I do from home. It was so easy when I first left my job to just let days absolutely waste away because I wasn't getting up and getting ready and going to an office and sitting down. I didn't have like a schedule. I let a lot of time waste that way. I've really gotten my shit together. I've been better planning my time. I actually still have it here because I filmed a gift guide earlier and I mentioned it. My Erin Condren planner that I just write down, I plan out my week, I write down things that need to get done every single day, check them off. I mean, it's that simple. This has really helped me with my time management. Number five, I have learned how to take more chances on myself because I've learned that I can do hard things. I've spent so much of my life telling myself I can't do stuff because it's too hard. And I don't do that anymore. I don't do it. I don't do things, I don't not do things because I think they're too hard anymore. I can be a plus size woman who buys a Peloton and rides it every day. I can do really hard rides on it. I can push myself. I can break my personal records. I can fix drywall in my house. I can spackle. I can start a YouTube channel. I can do all of those things. I can do those things that are difficult and I can do them well. And if I can do all of those things, there's no reason why I can't do other things that might scare me. Another thing I learned this year is to dress for the body I have. I've been a yo-yo dieter my whole life. I really have. I'm not super happy with the weight I'm at right now, but that's not the point of this. The point is, in the past, when I've been at higher weights, I wouldn't buy clothes that fit me. I would wear sweatpants and leggings and hoodies all the time because I felt like because I'm bigger, I don't deserve to wear cute clothes. And now I'm at a point where, yeah, I might not want to be this weight forever, but I am right now. So do I want to feel miserable or do I want to feel cute? And I want to feel cute. So I buy clothes that fit me now. Part of the reason that I do that is because of number 8. The thing that I learned to do this year is follow more people that inspire me on social media. I'm a social media addict. I really am. I'm never going to be one of those people that like makes a vow to spend less time on Instagram or anything. But what I've done is I've really curated my list of people who I follow to people who genuinely inspire me, who make me want to be better in a good way. I follow people like Sarah Tripp, Sassy Red Lipstick. I follow, oh gosh, what's her name? I gotta look them up because they're so good. Give me 1 second. There's the Birds Papaya on Instagram, at the Gina Schiller. I think that's how you say her name. I don't know if this is how you say her name, but Anna Larisha on Instagram. I think she has a YouTube channel as well. They're very inspirational women who are comfortable with themselves, who are super fashionable, who are super kind. I love following them. By curating my feed to be these people who inspire me, I feel like I'm actually getting something out of the time that I spend on social media rather than rotting my brain with it. Number 9, I've learned to spend a lot more time with my friends this year, and in a way that is kind of weird and surprising and kind of old. My friends and I, my 3 good friends and I, made like a Snapchat, like group chat. So instead of our old group chat where we would text to each other all the time, we have this Snapchat group. So now, even though I might not see them in person hardly ever, I see them, like physically see them and talk to them every single day. And it's just, it's so nice. It's so nice to be able to like talk to them, see them, you know, joke with them. I love that, and I'm really happy that that's something that we have in place now that one of my friends one of them already lives in DC, one of them moved to DC, I'm moving to San Francisco, so since we're all going to be apart, I just love that that's become a part of our friendship so that we can continue to like be present with each other. I love that. Number 10, I've learned how to prioritize spending time with people who make me happy. And that's only come in the last few weeks because the whole moving thing has happened so much faster than we thought it was going to. We always knew we were going to move, but it happened like that. So I've really had to just like plan these last few months, and now especially these last few weeks, to make sure that I see people before I go and I spend quality time with them before I go. It's just something that, you know, if I was sticking around here, like, yeah, I might want to see you and hang out with you, but like, we can do that whenever, you know, and we'll get to it. And then it never happens, you know. Now that I have this time crunch, I'm learning that it's really, really important to prioritize, you know, getting up, leaving your house, going and spending time with the people that you love. Number 11, oh my God. This is a lesson that I've learned in my life, but I had to relearn it this year. Drink more water. When I worked in a restaurant, this wasn't a problem. I would bring like 4 or 5 bottles of water with me to work to drink during my shift. When I worked in my office, it was never a problem. I always had my emotional support water bottle with me and it was always full. And then I started working from home. And at home, I had unlimited access to coffee and Diet Coke and Chardonnay. And that's all I would drink. I would take a bottle of water to bed with me and that was it. And boy, did I feel it. I can feel it right now. My water's out of reach. And I've been sitting here filming and I haven't drank any water in the last few hours and I'm dying. Drinking water is so, so important. I felt it. When I wasn't drinking enough water, I felt it. You could see it in my skin. I could feel it in my mouth. It was horrible. I had headaches. Water, water, water. Drink your water. So important. Number 12, this year I learned how to develop a skincare routine. I've been lucky with my skin in the past. I've never been acne prone. I'm gonna knock on some wood, but I can count on one hand the amount of pimples I've had in my life, and because of that I just never developed a skincare routine because like I feel like that starts when you're a teenager and you're dealing with acne and then you just keep going as you get older. I never had one because I've always had nice skin, but I started to notice it this year. I started to notice signs of aging in my skin and I just realized, you know, the skin, it's my biggest organ and I need to take care of it. So I've whipped myself into shape. I have a morning routine and a night routine. I can definitely tell the difference. I feel so much better. My skin feels amazing. I'm gonna go to a dermatologist and get my strawberry skin taken care of this year. I've just learned how important skincare is and how life-changing it is when you have a skincare routine. Number 13, in sort of that same vein, I've learned to embrace aging this year. I always joked that I couldn't wait till I turned 29 because the year that I was 29, John would be 40. I just loved that I would still be in my 20s and he'd be 40 and I could make fun of him for it. But in reality, like since I've been 22, every year I've had a hard time with getting older. Not, you know, just the existential time is moving on kind of trouble with it. I'm not sure why, I'm not sure what clicked for me this year, but I'm not afraid of aging anymore. I think part of the problem, and I've been watching The Nanny on HBO, and if you've ever watched that, you know that she lies about her age and she's constantly being pushed to be younger. And I think a lot of like shows that we grew up with, like those of you who are my age, really push that narrative of like once you reach 30 your life is over. So that's kind of what's been in the back of my head. But I started getting gray hair this year. I had one or two before, but now I really have gray hair. And when I realized that that didn't freak me out, that's when I realized like, I'm okay with aging. I think I'm getting better with age. I like to think that I'm getting better with age. And it's still a few years off, but I'm looking forward to my 30s. Like I see all these women who are so cool, like Taylor Swift, who's in her 30s now and she's still killing it. Okay, I really didn't want to do this, but it's getting late and my battery's dead, so I'm finishing this on my phone. So I apologize for the poor quality if it's like a very stark difference, I'm not sure. So I believe I left off talking about how I learned to embrace aging. This is just true. I'm looking forward to my 30s. I'm not scared of it anymore. Something else I learned this year that I probably should have already known, the importance of vitamins. I was not taking vitamins before this year, ever. Like the last time I took vitamins was like Flintstone chewables. How crazy is that? It started because I was getting all these like muscle cramps, like really bad Charlie horses in my legs that were waking me up at night. I was getting them in like my thighs, like really just debilitating, in my feet, just muscle cramps. So I was looking to see like remedies for it, and the internet said to start taking magnesium. So I started taking 250 milligrams of magnesium daily. I added in one a day, and now I take a vitamin for my skin as well. It's just a part of my routine. I don't get muscle cramps anymore. I feel a lot better. I feel like it's definitely helping with my skin. You're supposed to take vitamins, Emily. Why did it take you this long to learn that? Number 15 is one I'm still working on learning, but I'm getting there. How to embrace change. This year has been a whirlwind of change for me, for my friends, it's been a season of change for everyone around me, and it's not been easy for me at all times. I do not like change. I am a Capricorn. I am very stuck in my ways. Change must come. I'm getting better with it. If you're my friends and you're watching this and you see me crying on Snapchat all the time, you're probably laughing. If you're John and you're watching this and you know how much I don't want to pack because I don't want our apartment to look different, you're probably laughing. But I'm getting used to it. I'm getting better. I'm accepting that things change. When I come back to visit here home, things are going to be different. Like I said, I'm still learning it. You can see me working through it in my mind right now. I'm working on it, but I'm getting there. Number 16 is a tough one for me. But something that I learned this year is when it's time to go. And yes, that's a Taylor Swift song, and that's where I stole it from. But I, for better or worse, had to let go of some relationships this year. One specifically with my mother. I no longer talk to my mom. It's been a long time coming. The other shoe fell this year, and I could no longer justify familial obligation. I could no longer let myself feel guilty about things that were not my fault. I could no longer allow the drama and toxicity to bear down on me. It had been unhealthy for a long time, and I finally just had to walk away. it was a necessary step. And I think that there's a lot of shame, at least for me, that comes from cutting people out of your life, especially if they're family, and there's a lot of jealousy. For instance, a friend of my parents, you know, they're wanting me to come over for Thanksgiving. They're wanting to spend time with me before I leave, before I move across the country, and that's so nice. But my own mom doesn't even know I'm moving, so I get jealous. Like, why do other people have such loving and caring parents and I don't? Ultimately, it was the right decision, and I'm learning to not lose sleep over it anymore. You gotta know when it's time to go, right? Number 17, I learned to trust my gut instincts. I made a mistake that I will never make again. I quit my job. If you want to go watch that video, it's a couple months back. I quit my job because I needed to. It was really toxic. It was terrible for my mental health. I was miserable there. It was just an awful, terrible environment. I hated every day of my life. I knew I was going to quit. Something in my gut was just telling me, I thought it was, at the time I just thought it was anxiety over the actual act of quitting. I wanted to ghost. That's what my instinct was telling me. My instinct was telling me to straight up ghost. Pack my stuff up on a Friday and not show up on Monday. Like, that's what my instinct was telling me to do. Either that or leave on the Friday and be like, by the way, I'm not coming back on Monday. Bye! Like, that's what my instinct was telling me to do. And I talked to John about it, I talked to my friends about it, and of course everybody was like, don't do that, that's so stupid, you know, you're never gonna know when you're gonna need a reference, you know, give them the 2 week notice, it's like, just do it, whatever. And of course, I didn't want to not be an adult about the situation, so I decided to give them a week's notice. I told my boss on the Monday that Friday was gonna be my last day. She asked me if I could come in the following Monday, just for like a wrap-up day. I said yes, I would do that. Monday would be my last day. Monday morning came around, my boss texted me in the morning and was like, hey, do you mind coming in an hour early? We just got a schedule change at the office. I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, whatever. Go to the office early, I'm working on wrapping my things up, and I asked her, I'm like, oh, by the way, like, why are we closing the office an hour early today? And she said, oh, because the entire sales department is working from home because there was a COVID outbreak. So you didn't tell me that before I came into work for my last day? You asked me to come in early and you don't tell me why, because you know if you had told me why I wouldn't have come in. That really pissed me off. That put a damper on my entire time there that was already really tainted, and of course I ended up getting COVID and brought it home. So John had COVID too, so I got COVID on this job. If I had followed my instincts and done what I wanted to do and just left when I wanted to leave, because I really don't think they deserved my notice, I would have gotten COVID. So, you know, maybe it would have been the childish thing to do, but I wouldn't have gotten COVID and I wouldn't have gotten my husband sick. So I'm not making that mistake again. I'm trusting my instincts from now on. Even if it's anxiety, doesn't matter. I'm going with my gut. Number 18, again, something I already knew, but something I've been trying to be more mindful of this year. I've learned how important my oral health is. Teeth are so important to your health. If your teeth are messed up, your body's messed up. It's just a fact. And I have had issues with my teeth since I was younger. I had my wisdom teeth taken out with just a numbing needle, no anesthetic, no nothing. I felt the entire thing, and ever since then, I went 10 years without going to the dentist because I was traumatized. I knew I needed a root canal in a cavity that I had gotten, so I just kept putting it off and putting it off. I put it off for almost a year. I went to the dentist and they told me I needed a root canal and they gave me the referral last September. I didn't get it taken care of until this summer because I've just been traumatized. It really is so important. It's so easy to ignore things that are going on in your mouth because, oh, like your right side hurts, so just chew on your left side, you know, at least that's how I think of it, but I didn't realize how much it was affecting so much of what was going on up here until I got it fixed. Like, I was constantly having headaches, I was having like sinus infections on this side of my face, and it's all because I had this tooth that needed a root canal that I was just putting off and putting off, and it's not worth putting off Go to the dentist, get your cleanings, get your cavities filled, get your root canals, do it. Brush your teeth. I mean, I always brush my teeth, but you know, continue to brush your teeth. Trust me, it's so important. It's so important. Number 19. I have learned this year that I need to better advocate for myself medically. If you've been here on my channel, I've mentioned in passing, I had my appendix out a couple months ago. If you watch my The Secret Is Out video, I actually filmed that the day that I went to the hospital before I knew I had appendicitis. I looked so sick in that video. You can totally tell that something's wrong with me, but I had no idea. I learned that I've been very blessed medically, because that was the first time I ever had to be admitted to the hospital for anything. First time I've ever had anything serious happen. Terrible experience. The worst part of it was the night after my surgery. I had a male nurse who was just terrible. I don't know if he was having an off night or what. I heard him in the hallway say he had off the next few days. He was about 10 feet tall and he couldn't hear me, and he wouldn't lean down to hear me, and I had been intubated earlier, so I could not speak very well. So that was frustrating. I asked him for help walking me to the bathroom, and he didn't hear me and left, and I ended up taking about 45 minutes trying to get myself up after major abdominal surgery by myself, because I was too afraid to hit the call button. I asked him for pain medicine, and he was giving me half of my dose. I should have asked for the whole thing. I would call him for nausea medicine for Zofran, and he wouldn't come get it. He forgot to give me my pain medicine at one point, so he forgot it in his pocket, and I just didn't do anything about it, because I just figured this is just how it is. And the whole time I was messaging my husband. This was all in the middle of the night. He was at home sleeping. He woke up in the morning. He was pissed. He wanted to come in and yell at everybody and all these things, and at that point, I mean, the guy was gone, so it didn't matter, but in hindsight, I was just treated really terribly by this nurse, and that shouldn't happen to anybody. And now I know next time, God forbid, if I ever have to go to the hospital or have surgery for anything again, that I'm not letting that happen. Just because you're the patient doesn't mean you're wrong. Or I think part of it, for whatever reason, I think I have addicts in my family, and I think because of that I have a lot of shame built in around needing pain medication. So I think that's why I didn't push it, because I felt like I didn't want them to think I was a drug addict, just trying to get high or whatever. Anyway, that's my long-winded way of saying I am not going to let men belittle the way that I'm feeling in a medical way ever again. I will never, ever, ever let that happen to me ever again. I will demand another nurse. I will go full-on Karen if it's for my health, and if it's warranted, as it was in this situation. Number 20. Another lesson I already knew, but I was reminded of this year on a much later note. Taylor Swift is a bad bitch, okay? This was the year of her re-recordings. She is taking control of her music. She's not letting men walk all over her, like we just learned in my last lesson. This week, as I'm filming this, Red just came out a couple days ago. 10-year-old album, biggest streaming day. All Too Well's on track to be the #1 song on the Billboard chart this year for a 10-year-old song. She is a bad, bad bitch. She's a bad bitch. She's an incredible role model. If you don't like Taylor Swift, you're wrong, and I don't want to be your friend. What she's doing is so good for her, but really is so good for all the young women out there. She really is. She's taking control of the narrative. She's a bad bitch. She's a bad bitch. I love her. I look up to her. I want to be her when I grow up. And finally, the 21st thing that I learned in 2021 is, I'm trying not to get emotional, is how much I'm going to miss it here. I've lived in Bucks County, Pennsylvania my entire life. I've lived in different towns, but I've lived in this county from the day I was born. And I'm moving to San Francisco, and I've spent so much of my life. I mean, when I was a teenager, I was angsty, oh, I want to get out of this small town, blah, blah, blah. Wanting to leave, living with my mom while I was in college. I wanted to leave. Then I moved in here with John, and I always joke about how crappy this apartment is. It's like the landlord special. The town that I live in, I hate the street that we live on. I hate this apartment complex. I hate, I hate the bathroom. I hate so much about everything about where we live. I've just been so sick of living here, and now I'm leaving. Like, I'm actually leaving. I can't believe how much I'm gonna miss living here. In this apartment, on this street, in this town, in this county. I think about it all the time. Like, I know I'm moving to San Francisco, but I cannot wrap my head around the fact that I'm not gonna live in this apartment anymore. I've lived in this apartment with John longer than I've lived anywhere else in my entire life, which is crazy, because I've only lived here for, if we were staying, it would be 6 years in March, but we moved a lot when I was a kid, like to just different houses in different towns in this county. So this is the longest I've ever lived in one place, in this apartment, and that's just, there's a John-shaped hole in the wall. When we first started dating, I was sitting on the floor putting stuff in my bag because I was leaving to go, and for some reason he thought I was upset and crying. He was leaning down to console me, but he fell backwards instead, and he fell into the wall, and there was just this John-shaped hole in the wall behind the mirror for 5 years, and we fixed it since we're moving out finally. And it's like, I miss the John-shaped hole in the wall. I miss the ugly art that used to be up here behind me. There's so much that I miss already, and I cannot believe, and I get emotional when I think about one day we're gonna close the door to this apartment. It's gonna be the last time we're ever here. I think it goes back to my first point, where I have been as-soon-as-ing myself my whole life. It's always been, as soon as I get out of Bucks County, I'll be happy. And now that I'm actually going, I'm really gonna miss it. And that is it for today's video. That's it for the year. Thank you all so much for being here, for watching my videos, for being a part of this little community I created. I started this channel back in March. My goal was to get 100 subscribers and 1,000 views across my channel this year. That's what I wrote down as my goal when I started the channel. It is the middle of November as I'm filming this. As it stands right now, I have 499 subscribers. My most viewed video has over 12,000 views. I cannot believe it. This has just gone so beyond what I ever thought would be possible. I love doing this so much, and I just feel so lucky that you guys care enough to sit here and hang out with me week after week. That's it. That is it for this video. I will see you guys after the holidays, after the move. I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday season. I can't wait to hear all about it. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. It's at Emily Shack on Instagram. I will definitely be active on there between now and the end of the year. Just because I'm not on YouTube doesn't mean we can't hang out. I usually follow almost everybody back. If I accidentally miss you, just shoot me a message. I'll make sure to follow you. I talk to tons of people from here on Instagram. It's where I'm the most active. Again, I just want to thank you all so much for this year. It's been so amazing, and I'm so looking forward to the next one. I'll see you guys in San Francisco. I'll see you when I'm 28 in 2022. So weird. So weird. I love you all so much. I'll see you very, very soon. If you can't get enough of me, there's some of my old videos you can go back and watch. Again, follow me on Instagram. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.